Anything more?
Did you know that Saoirse Ronan aggressively pursued the role of Jo March in Greta Gerwig's Little Women? The actor said she approached her Lady Bird director at the Independent Spirit Awards and demanded the role.
I'm happy as I am, and I love my liberty too well to be in any hurry to give it up. Why should we run off and join a pirate ship?
Gerwig was initially hesitant to cast Ronan after having just worked with her on Lady Bird, 2017, but after realizing that more or less casting herself was a very Jo thing to do, Gerwig sent Ronan an email that said, "Yes, you're Jo."
And give me an answer, because I cannot go on like this any
Saoirse Ronan said in an interview that she wrestled with Chalamet before scenes together in order to have that physical anger with each other. The cast also apparently ate a lot of Wendy's before a scene, or simply just ate from the spread during meal scenes.
Yes, you are. You're a great deal too good for me, and
Greta Gerwig claimed she met with Steven Spielberg for advice on making a period piece with natural light. Spielberg persuaded Gerwig to shoot on 35mm film stock rather than on digital.
I can't change how I feel, and it would be a lie to say I do when I don't.
Jo March never wears corsets in this movie, which was quite unusual for the time. Even amongst her sisters, Jo is the only one to make that choice.
Jo, I only love you.
Teddy, it would be a disaster if we married.
It wouldn't be a disaster.
Okay? We'd be miserable.
Jo, I'd be a perfect saint.
I can't. I've tried it, and I failed.
Both Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet also appeared in Greta Gerwig's solo directorial debut, Lady Bird, 2017.
So I'm not going to say it at all. And you'll see that I'm right eventually, and you'll thank me for it.
Gerwig had to fight hard to get her version of Little Women made. It was a book Gerwig claims made her want to be a writer and director, though she wasn't originally on anybody's list to direct this film.
Teddy, listen, you'll find some lovely, accomplished girl,
she recalled. I had this pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do with it, so I fought my way into that room, and luckily, they hired me to write it, and then ultimately said I could direct it. I was hell-bent on it, because I felt there was something that was so deeply moving, but also revolutionary.
I'd hate elegant society, you'd hate my scribbling, and we would be unhappy, and we'd wish we hadn't done it, and everything.
In a crude bit of irony, the whole cast of Little Women caught strep throat during filming. Strep throat is the predecessor to scarlet fever, which Beth develops in the book. This dark symmetry is the sort of thing you simply can't write. As Greta Gerwig joked in an interview, they took meta acting to the max here.
I love my liberty too well to be in any hurry to give it up.
I think you're wrong about that, Jo.
No.
I think you will marry Jo. I think you'll find someone and love them, and you will live and die for them because that's your way, and you will. And I'll watch.
Each actor had an etiquette coach that led them through mannerisms from the time period. They had to study the era and were taught a lot before they brought it to life on the big screen. Did you know that Greta Gerwig was actually pregnant while directing Little Women? Gerwig was 6 months pregnant when production wrapped and went into labor just 24 hours after delivering the rough cut.
I'll only plague him if I go, so I might as well stay and plague you a little longer. You can bear it.
Florence Pugh shot Little Women immediately after wrapping Midsummer and described the experience as a kind of therapy after shooting the intense horror film. She went from one set to the other after only a couple of days.
What?
Yes.
I've been writing an opera. I would be the central figure.
It's a waste of time.
In order to obscure the fact that Timothée Chalamet is only 5 feet and 10 inches tall, the camera crew had to rely a lot on trick photography, special lenses, and forced perspective.
Go and work for your grandfather and make something of yourself.
You're not playing fair.
Each of the March sisters was given a distinctive color palette for their wardrobe. Amy's is light blue, as we can see in this scene. Meg's is lavender and green, Jo's is red and indigo, and Beth's is pink and brown.
Was the day at the beach? First time I met Fred.
The entire film was shot in Massachusetts, including one scene that was even filmed in Alcott's father's schoolhouse. Even the Paris scenes were shot in the state, at Harvard.
He's in London on business. He'll be back in a few weeks.
The cast had many different group chats set up to organize meetings and throw random ideas back and forth. The younger actresses had to teach Laura Dern how to use WhatsApp, and even named a group chat Mar-Me after her character.
What?
Don't marry him.
Why?
The movie scored 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Supporting Actress.
No.
Yes.
No. Lori,
What?
you're being mean.
What?
Stop
How am I
it.
being
Stop
mean?
it. I have been second to Joe my whole life.
Florence Pugh and Timothée Chalamet are best friends in real life, and even had to be separated on the film set since they couldn't stop laughing and joking around.
I won't, not when I've spent my entire life loving you.
The age order of the March sisters goes Meg, Emma Watson, Jo, Saoirse Ronan, Beth, Eliza Scanlon, and Amy, Florence Pugh. In reality, Eliza Scanlon is younger than Florence Pugh by 3 years. Their birthdays are just 3 days apart.
Weak, but improving. Mr. Brick also says that Mother is the best nurse a man could ask for.
Well, I wish all the letters were from Mother and not Mr. Brooke.
I'm grateful for any letters.
I think the deep purple is very fitting for Mr. Lawrence. You agree, Amy?
Quiet, the design is very cunning.
I had to thank him somehow for allowing me to play the piano at his house all the time.
I'm going into town for groceries. Joe, can you look into getting more firewood?
You all haven't been to see the Hummels. We should go.
Oh, Bethy, we barely have enough to feed ourselves. Besides, I have to finish this story.
Marmee said that.
Marmee told us to do lots of things, but we can't possibly do them all. But I always go by myself, and you haven't been keeping up with your tasks.
We do, we work. Don't worry, sweet girl. We'll find a time.
But it's been weeks.
We'll go soon.
No, my foot is stuck. I can't get it out. Stop it, Joe. I can't get it out. Let me lose my foot.
Fine, I'll go myself.
Hello.
For Mr. Lawrence.
Here she comes.
Beth, look what they got you.
Here's a letter from the old gentleman.
Open the note.
Oh, Beth, just look.
Joe, read the letter. I cannot. Miss Beth March, I have had many pairs of slippers in my life, but I never had any that suited me so well as yours. And they will always remind me of the gentle giver.